Greetings. Thought I would do one in the series called What's in a Name, because there is an amusement park in America called Six Flags. It's in many, many states. But my question of the day was, why is it called Six Flags? Well, it turns out that it was created by a guy named Angus G. Wynn Jr. And he and his wife talked about an amusement park, and then his wife, who's from Texas, said, let's name it Six Flags. And here's the thing. It was founded in August of 1961 in Arlington, Texas, and they named it Six Flags because Six Flags flew over Texas. And so here's how that kind of works. If we ignore Native American history, because they didn't have flags, we're going to go to the first Europeans to claim the area, and Spain was the first one to claim it. So from 1519 on, the area of present-day Texas had a Spanish flag. Then, for a very brief moment, 1685 to 1690, the French, under Louis XIV, had hired a guy named La Salle to try to claim the bottom of the Mississippi, but he was 400 miles off the wrong direction, and so he bumped into Texas. He claimed a small part of Texas for France. They put a flag up, and so the French flag flew for 5 years in parts of Texas, very small part, and that whole colony and everything failed. And then it went back to Spain, and then it remained Spain until 1821, when Mexico broke away from New Spain, or the Spanish America. So I have a map up there that you can see the area that broke away. And when Mexico broke away, it owned Texas and even all the areas up over to California. And so for that brief moment, from Mexican independence, 1821 on, the area of Texas had a Mexican flag. Then Texas broke away from Mexico, a very crazy story deserving of its own video. And Texas then had its own country, was its own country from 1836 to 1845. It was Texas, a country, and it had its own flag. Then it was annexed by the United States in 1845 and became part of the United States, so it flew the United States flag at that time, which of course is different than today's flag. And then the Texas seceded with the South and became part of the Confederate States, so the Confederate flag flew over Texas. And then when the Civil War was finished and the Confederate States lost, they were brought back into the United States, and so the United States flag came back over on top of Texas, and Texas has been flying that flag ever since. But Texas has had at least six flags, especially if you just count the separate countries. I mean, it's crazier if you go Spain and then France and back to Spain and all the rest. But in the end, Six Flags have flown over parts of Texas from European countries all the way to the United States, and that's why they named it that. And even though it's in lots of states now, and it just is an associate of the idea of an amusement park, it was invented and named after the fact that Texas had a very interesting checkered history. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me.